Hello! Today I'm going to be showing you how you can export your products from Shopify in bulk using the Metafields app. So let's get started. Now you first need to start off in the Metafields app, and here I am in the Metafields app's homepage. To create a new export, click on New Export. Here I am in a new export page, and the first thing that we're going to be looking at is the format. If you click on the format drop-down, you'll be able to see a list of different formats that Metafields is able to export in. The only formats we need to be looking at in this case are the Metafields Excel and Metafields CSV format. To export your products, you can export in either one of these formats. We do recommend exporting it in the Excel format though, if the data you're exporting is not over the Excel limits, which would be over 1 million rows. However, it really is down to your own requirements and what you need. You can also choose to export as a CSV file as well. In my case though, I'm going to be exporting in Excel, so I'm just going to click Excel. Once you've chosen your format, you can then head down to Sheets. Here where you can see Sheets, we need to select the entity that we'd like to export. To do so, press Select Sheets and select to export Products. Once you've selected Products, you can then click on the Products drop-down. Here you'll be able to see all of the different column groups Metafields is able to export. Metafields can export basic columns, categories, collections, media, inventory variants, variant cost, customs informations, multi-location inventory levels, pricing by catalogs, Metafields, and lastly, variant Metafields. If you click on each column group drop-down, you'll be able to see which exact columns are included in these groups. You can then choose to deselect or select which columns you would like to see in your exported file. You can do so by either unchecking specific columns, or you can deselect a whole column group. It's completely up to you. Each of these column groups has such a drop-down, so you can make sure to customize your export to include only the exact columns that you require. I will leave a link in the description of this video to our products documentation, which has a list of all of these column groups and what columns they include, which also will show the expected values of these columns as well. Then moving on to Customize Columns. Under the column group checkboxes, you'll be able to see a drop-down Customize Columns. If you click on this drop-down, you'll be able to see all of the columns that we've selected to be exported. What Customize Columns allows you to do is it allows you to change the order in which your columns are exported. So to change the order, it would really be as simple as clicking on the column that you'd like to change the order of and dragging it to the new position you'd like it to be in. So for example, if I'd like title to be first, I'd drag and drop it for it to be the first column in my exported file. And you can really do this with any column you would like, just drag and drop to the position that you'd like the column to be in. Customize columns will also allow you to remove columns from your exported file if you would like, and to do so just click the little X by the column name and that will remove the column from being exported. Once your columns have been customized as you would like them to be, we can then move on to filters. If you click on the filters drop down, you'll be able to see all of the different filters that we offer for your products to export. Filters allow you to export only specific products that match the filters you have added. I will leave a link in the description of this video to all of the filters that we do offer for our product to export, and that will also show you what values these filters may require. In my case though, I won't be adding a filter, but just so you know, this is also an option so you don't have to export all of your products. In regard to filters, Metafields offers to export only specific Metafields or variant Metafields in your exported file as well. And to set that up, you'd press the Metafields drop down and here click on the small pencil icon and you'll be able to see that here you can include only Metafields where, and then if you click to select criteria, you can include only Metafields where they have a specific namespace, then you'd add the namespace or multiple namespaces separated by a comma, or you can export by key or type. It's completely up to you, and here you can select which type you'd like to export by. You can also choose to exclude Metafields that don't have any values as well. And the same also goes for variant Metafields. You have the exact same pencil icon and exact same criteria that you can export by to include only specific Metafields. To mention, Metafields also allows you to filter and export directly within your Shopify admin. To do so, head to your Shopify admin product, where I am right now, and here you can select which products you'd like to be exported with Matrixify. So to do so, just check the products you'd like to be exported. So I'm going to check B t-shirt, B butter and B jam. And to have Matrixify only export these products, you can press the 3 dots and export selected with Matrixify. So go ahead and click there. And Matrixify will create an export for you that will only export the 3 products that you've selected. Again, you can then go ahead and select which columns you'd like to be exported. You can customize the columns as well. And as you can see here, a filter has been added with only the 3 product IDs that I have selected to be exported. When the app creates a new export from products that you've selected directly in your Shopify admin, the columns selected will be the columns that were selected from your previous export with the app. You can also select a save preset from the drop down here from a previous saved export setup. And if you select that, then the columns will be that of the preset, and this filter will still stay intact. So you can select a saved preset and the columns will change to what you have saved for the preset, but the ID filter for the selected products will still stay intact, which is a very good thing to know and keep in mind. Moving back to the export we were previously creating, we can then head down to Options. Click on the Options drop down to open the options, and here you'll be able to see a bunch of different options you can add to your export. Starting with scheduling. You can choose when to schedule your export, so what date you'd like to schedule it for and what time. You can also choose to repeat your export, so you can choose how many times you'd like your export to repeat, so every day, hour, minute, week, month, or year. You can then choose how many times you'd like your export to run, so you can choose to run the export until cancelled, or you can choose a specific amount of times. It's completely up to you and whatever works for your needs. Then moving down to results file. These are options specifically to do with the exported file itself. You can give the exported file a custom file name. So for example, my export. What this will do is it will create a static or predictable URL to the exported file. I will leave a link in the description of this video to a tutorial that will explain more about predictable URLs and how to set up such an export. Then moving down to file name time source, you can select what time source will be in the exported file's name. So you can have the started at time, the scheduled at time, or saved at time for the job. Then moving on to the option do not generate results file if there is no data. What this will do is it won't generate a results file if all of the exported sheets are empty, so just the column headers. It also won't upload an empty file to a remote server, so if you're exporting to an FTP or SFTP server, if the file is empty, so only the column headers, an exported file will not be generated. Then moving on to upload to. So you can choose to upload to an SFTP server or FTP server if you would like. Then going down to sorting. You can check this checkbox to export items sorted in the order as they come from Shopify. To mention though, if you are using the big or enterprise plan, the speed benefit from these plans will not be leveraged if you do check this option. This is because with this option, your export will run with only 1 thread, whereas by default with the big plan, your export runs with 5 threads, and with the enterprise plan, your export will run with 10 threads or more. If the item sorting in store is really important to you, logically to guarantee that the items will be in the file exactly in a specific order, they cannot be processed in parallel, so it will be slower. Then moving down to formatting. You can choose to format your date columns as Excel date time without time zone. You can also change the time format. So if you click on the drop down, you can select which time format and date format you'd like. And you can also choose to prefix values with an apostrophe. So for phone numbers, text cells, number cells, or none. It's completely up to you. All of these options are optional. You don't have to change anything if you don't want to, as the default options also work perfectly fine for the export. And if all looks good and all is set up as you would like it to be set up, you can go ahead and press export. And now you'll see that the export has finished, and once completed, you can then go ahead and download the exported file by clicking the download exported file button. So here I'm going to press the download exported file button, and you'll be able to see that the file's downloading, and click on it to open it. And here I am in my exported file. Here you'll be able to see all of the different columns that you've exported. It may look something like this. I'll zoom in now just so you can see the values a bit closer. Now you may notice that some of the products in my file have multiple rows, and there is a good reason for this. A product will have multiple rows in the exported file if the product has multiple variants and multiple images or videos. So taking Honeypot as an example, you'll see that this product has 3 rows. So now if we scroll to the image columns, so scroll forwards, or depending where they are in your file, you may not need to scroll forwards, but if we do scroll forwards in my case, we'll be able to see that in the image source column, which would be this column here, there are different values. And this means that the product has 3 different images, and each image will be exported in its own row. So you can see that here. If we then move forwards again, we'll be able to see that this same product has 2 variants, and each of these variants has been exported in its own row. The same also goes for B-rings, however B-rings has 4 variants: copper, gold, silver and rose gold. I'll now zoom out a little bit. You can see that each variant row has its own values. So you can see here for the first variant of B-rings, it has its own value in the variants U column, variant barcode, variant image, and so on. Then if we look further in the file, we'll be able to see our inventory columns. So you can see that some of my products have a value in these columns. If we scroll further along, we'll then be able to see Metafields. So we'll first see our SEO metafields. So these SEO fields would be the title field and the description field. These fields will export empty if the title tag is the exact same as the title that you have for the product in your Shopify admin, and the same also goes for the description. You'll then also be able to see different variant metafields exported and different product level metafields exported. The way the data looks in your file, though, will be down to how you've set up your export, meaning that you may have different columns in your exported file, and that's completely okay as well. This is just an example to show you how the data would be exported. You may also notice that an export summary sheet's been exported. This basically just contains all information about the export that we've just run. The information scoped from your Shopify domain all the way down to the filters used for the export. You'll see all that information here. And that really would be it. That is how you can export your Shopify products with Matrixify in bulk. We also offer a written tutorial on this as well, and I will make sure to leave a link in the description of this video to this tutorial as well so you can easily get to it. This tutorial basically goes through everything I've talked about in the video, just in written format, so you can definitely follow this if you prefer following a written tutorial rather than a video tutorial. And if you have any questions, queries or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You can contact us either via Slack, where we have Mybar, our AI assistant, and our support team will jump into any chat if necessary. You can also contact us via email at support@matrixify.app. And we also have an in-app chat with Mybar as well, which you can find in the Matrixify app itself or also here on our website. And to get to Mybar, just click on the speech bubble at the bottom of the page and you'll see Mybar waiting to help you. And as you can see here, Mybar is already asking how they can help you with any questions you may have. And that really would be it from me today. That is how you can export your products in bulk from Shopify using the Matrixify app.